All right, so we are going to start 4.1 and 4.2, understanding equivalent equations and solving algebraic equations. Now, it says we're going to work on variables on both sides, and that is the end goal. Next week, we will be doing that. But for today, we will be just identifying equivalent equations and solving basic two-step equations. Okay, so here in the example spot, it says 4x plus 3 plus 3x equals 7x plus 3. Remember, we can combine those like terms, 4x and 3x. For the next one, 4x plus 6 equals 2 times 2x plus 3. If we distribute that 2 to the terms inside the parentheses, we end up with 4x plus 6. And the same thing down here. If we distribute 2 to x minus 3, we get 2x minus 10. Okay, so here gives you an example of some ways to make them equivalent by doing different, and you can look those over, but I'm going to move on to the second page and actually go it down here, and we're actually going to start solving these. We did a lot of this in class today. Okay, so remember, what's really important here is this box right here. This box right here, we talked about. If you're undoing addition or subtraction first, and then you undo multiplication or division second, and you undo addition with subtraction, which is its inverse. You undo subtraction with addition, and then undo multiplication with division or division with multiplication. Okay, inverse is its opposite. All right, so we're going to start right here with letter A, which says 3 minus 7x equals 10. So if you don't like it written this way, a lot of times the ones we saw today had the 7x written first. You can absolutely rewrite this. You just have to have negative 7x plus 3 equals 10. You need to keep the sign in front of the term. So since the negative's in front of the 7, it needs to remain. There's no sign in front of the 3, so it's positive. Okay, so like I showed you today, you draw a line through the equal sign and you circle your variable. That's the whole point of these. We want to isolate the variable and get it alone. We're going to undo the addition or subtraction first. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. Again, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So I subtract 3 from both sides. Positive 3 and negative 3 cancel out, so I'm going to get negative 7 equals, negative 7x equals 7. Now, to undo multiplication, we're going to divide. Divide both sides by negative 7. Those cancel out, and x equals 7. I'm going to put it here again. 7 divided by negative 7 is negative 1. So my answer is x equals negative 1. And I showed you in class today how to check something like that. Okay? So we're going to go down here, and we're going to solve it. We have 1/6 y minus 1/3 equals 2. Okay, so again, we want to rewrite this. We can. We can have negative 1/3. Actually, I'm going to leave it that way because that's the way we want it to be. I'm going to draw my line. All right, there we go. Write the equal back in. Draw my line and circle my variable. Okay, so we need to get rid of a negative 1/3, so I'm going to add 1/3 to both sides. So that's going to give me 1/6 y equals, those are going to cancel out, 2 and 1/3. All right, so now we need to undo multiplication with division. But remember, we don't divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 6/1. Now, in order to multiply over here, we need to turn the mixed number into an improper fraction. So that's going to give me 7/3 times 6/1. We do some cross canceling, and we're going to end up with y equals 14. Okay? So now this time they're asking us to solve and then check. So we know how to do that. We did that in class already. Now if you look over here, this one's a little more complicated, but you guys know what to do. We have some like terms over here that we need to deal with first. So we have 1x minus 5/10 x. So 1 minus a half is a half. So we have 5/10 x plus 1.5 equals 4.5. Okay, so now I'm going to draw my line and circle my variable because I have all my variables together. And to get rid of a positive 1.5, we're going to subtract 1.5 from both sides. And that's going to give me 5/10 x, it's a decimal point, equals 3.0. undo multiplication with division. Okay, so we have 5/10 into 3.0. Move those decimal points over one place, and we're going to get 6. So x equals 6. Okay, so let me erase this, and now we need to check it. Remember to check, you're going to plug your answer in. So we have x plus 1.5 minus 5/10 x equals 4.5. Anytime we see an x, we're going to plug in 6. So this is going to be a 6, and then we're going to have a 6 right here. Okay, so let's fill in the rest. So 6 plus 1.5 minus 0.5 times 6 equals 4.5. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. We have 6 plus 1.5. Well, let's do our, go in order. So let's do our multiplication first. So 6 times 0.5 is 3. So I'm going to have 3. 6 plus 1.5 minus 3 equals 4.5. Okay, so now we go in order. 6 plus 1.5 is 7.5 minus 3 equals 4.5. Scoot this up a little bit. So then I have 7 minus 7.5 minus 3. Remember, 3 is a whole number. So that does give me 4.5. If we get the same answer on both sides of our equal sign, then we know we did it correctly. All right, so now it says state whether each pair of equations are equivalent. Okay, so what we have to do is solve them both. So for the first one, we have x and 6x, so that's going to give me 7x plus 3 equals 13. All right, so we're going to add 3 to both sides. So that's going to be 7x equals, excuse me, my fault. Hold on, I have to erase this. I wrote the problem down wrong. Let's try this again. 7x plus 3 equals 13. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So 7x equals 10. Okay, and if you look, these are equal because if you get to this point, we have 7x plus 3 equals 13, and this is also 7x plus 3 equals 13. So your answer is yes, and you can use your work to justify your answer. Okay, so then over here we have 5x minus 4 equals 6. Okay, so we're going to add 4 to both sides, and we're going to get 5x equals 10. 5x equals 10 is not equal to 5x equals 20, so in that case your answer would be no. Okay, so you go ahead and try letter C on your own. I'm going to stop it, let you try it, and then we'll go over it together. All right, so I solved that one, and we get 2/3 x equals 4. To undo multiplication, we divide, but we don't divide fractions. We multiply by the reciprocal, which is 3/2. Those are going to cancel out on the left. We're left with x. And 4 times 3/2 is 12/2, which reduces to 6. And since we have x equals 6 and x equals 6, your answer for the last one is yes. Okay, and that's the end of the notes for today. So nice job, and we'll see you later. Have a good night.